Ladles and jelly spoons, welcome to the first ever episode of Amateur Starcraft. My name is Novacore. This is a Terran v Terran match. It is me versus Dexter. It was just a practice match I ran before I wanted to start doing my placement matches. What is Amateur Starcraft? I'm assuming most of you are wondering. Well, I, to put it bluntly, suck at Starcraft 2. I suck at all RTSs, really, and I dislike them thoroughly. I got inspiration from CynicalBrit. He runs CynicalBrit.com, and his YouTube channel is youtube.com/user/total halibut. He does a series called I Suck at Starcraft 2, and it's a really, really good series for anybody who's basically never played StarCraft or StarCraft 2, never been into the game, and wants to learn from an amateur perspective. The reason why I did this is because it's mostly beneficial for myself. I can sort of reflect on what I've done and how I've played, how I can improve myself, and hopefully for those watching, how you can improve as well from an incredibly amateur perspective. Before we begin, I just want to say that comments from anybody in regards to me sucking are more than welcome. However, they will be completely ignored because I already know this. However, positive comments in regards to how I can improve are more than welcome. So please do send your comments through for anybody watching. We're going to start the match now. As you can see, we're just going to start here. This map is fairly common to most StarCraft players if you are regular with the game. What I'm going to do is basically just roll through this match. You guys can see what I've done, and I'm going to slow it down a bit sometimes. Let you know the basics about playing StarCraft 2 from a Terran perspective. Hopefully soon I can move on to Protoss and Zerg. Not quite there yet, but we'll just roll with the Terran and see how we go. What I am doing right now is I'm sending an SCV down to his base. Why am I doing this, you might ask? Well, most players might know, but I shall reflect anyway. It's called scouting. And essentially, this is what you should do, not necessarily directly at the start of the game, but what you should do at some point in time, and nice and early in your game. It is sort of to see where the enemy base is. Now, you would do it for two reasons. You would send an SCV down this early, like what I'm doing, to see where the enemy base is. On some maps, the enemy base does change different areas. On this one player always starts here, and the other always starts here. You generally don't see them shifting around that much. Sometimes it does happen, but you would find normally they're always opposite each other. Sending a scout out this early to see what he's built is unnecessary and silly, because obviously he only has what I have, a command center and a refinery. Command center and a refinery. He's got his up a lot quicker than mine, but if you look at units, you can see that I am pumping out more SCVs than him, only by 2, but I'm still up. So I just wanted to see where he was, just to see what direction he might be coming from, even though there's only one choke point on this map. I just still wanted to get some form of perspective. But that's not the only reason I sent my SCV down there, and I shall show you why in a moment. Speed it up a little bit, just to get this video over quicker. I am now pumping out a bit of Espion, and still building SCVs from my command center to mine minerals, so I can start, obviously, getting some troops on the ground. Now, if we look at his base, he does have the advantage on me here early. He already has a barracks, and he already has nearly 3 supply depots up. At the moment, I've only started building 2 supply depots, and I have no barracks. What do you think? There it is. Just starting to come up now. A bit late, in my opinion. I really should have pumped out a barracks a lot earlier than that. What I'm doing right now is blocking the choke. And now, for nobody familiar with this reference, it's very common, you should know it. Blocking the choke is, well, the choke is essentially the one path that leads up into your base. Some maps have 2, most maps have 1. Blocking this choke point essentially means that if your enemy was to send a ground infantry rush into your base, you've at least got something to stop him before he can directly run up and smack your command center in 2. You don't want that to happen. Obviously, once that happens, your map is revealed, and it's pretty much curtains for you. So you want to block that choke point just to stop the enemy, essentially, from running into your base. The other thing I'm doing down here is an early rush. Now, I've sent that scout here that you saw before, who went into the base just to scout it. I sent him up here to build a barracks. Now, what I'm planning on doing is pumping out a couple of Reapers and a couple of Marauders to hopefully get an early advantage and rush into his base. He won't know where they're coming from because he doesn't have anything up at the moment to sense what direction my enemies are coming from, so he will still assume that they're coming from my main base here. As you can see, my 2 supply depots and my barracks are now up, blocking the choke, and I'm now training Marines. Doing this late, incredibly late. As you can see, he already has 3 Marines to my 1. We're sitting even on SCVs, which means if you look at our resources here, we're still the same around minerals. more Vespian than him at the moment. I'll probably lose that once I start to build out Marauders. And he's just a little bit up on me on supply depots. I still, again, should be probably building more of them. Didn't do it. Don't know why, don't ask me. I was still very early on in this game, so still learning and still sucking incredibly hard. I put an orbital command on my command center, and what you can do down here is a scanner sweep. You click on their base and you can basically see what they're doing. Now from doing that, I saw that he is pumping out 3 barracks, and one with a reactor on it, which means he's going to start pumping out some heavier infantry. He doesn't have a lot at the moment. He's got a lot of SCVs and a lot of supply depots. But really not a whole lot. Another thing he hasn't done, if you'll notice here, he hasn't set up a choke. At all, he hasn't blocked it. I don't know why he didn't do this, he must be new as well. Kind of silly on his behalf, he really should have done that. If you look up here now, he has sent 3 Marines to hide, and if you look at just my perspective, you'll notice that I can barely see them. I was building Marines down here, my attention was away, I was looking at 2 completely different things. I only noticed his Marines when I started to build a sensor tower. Don't ask me why I built a sensor tower, people, I don't know why I did it this early. It's a stupid, pointless thing to do. Lucky I did, though, because that obviously let me see his Marines, and as you can see here, I've started to send up a Marine, and the rest of my Marines will soon follow to hopefully knock out a couple of his guys. He does move them out of range, though, because I have the high ground. Over here, I am now pumping out a couple of Marauders and Reapers. I'm still building them thoroughly here from my barracks. Not building any Marines from this barracks. Silly of me here, I'm not defending my base. I've blocked the choke, but I've got nothing else. I've got barely any Marines to cover a rush at the moment, and if he moved right now, with what he has down here, if we look at everyone's map, he's got a lot more Marines than me. Go to the units and look, he's got 20 Marines to my 2 Marauders, 2 Reapers, and 7 Marines. He could easily own me. I've only got 7 people covering the base. 7! As you can see here now, he is moving his guys up, and if you look from my map here, I can see him there because of my sensor tower. Another good reason for me building it, but I've still got nothing to cover the base. I've just decided to start pumping out more Marines. Too little too late, in my opinion. It should have been done earlier. I also have a factory and a tech lab, which I'm now researching. I never build Hellions and I never build siege tanks. I don't know why I didn't. I mean, if you're looking for the long game, probably, but I mean, if you want to rush earlier, there's really no point. As you can see, he's moving a lot more guys up, and this is another stupid thing he does. He moves them back into the same spot where I've camped my Marines. He knows my Marines are there. Look at all the units he loses running around there. I've wiped off more than half of what he sent up, which was ridiculous. I don't know why he did that. And he's got more Marines just sitting here. He should have sent them all up straight into my choke and just owned it. I've got nothing to protect it. He knows I've got nothing to protect it. And finally, he decides to send everybody up to shoot it. Now, I'm screwed here. I, for some reason, leave 4 Marines just sitting there. I must have got tunnel vision building on my expansion here. My rush there, should I say. He now owns one of my supply depots, my second supply depot. I finally decide to start sending 4 Marines down for some unknown reason. And he's got me. Now, this is where you might think I'm done. I'm pretty much finished. I've got a Marine sitting here. I've got a barracks with 4 Marines pumping out, but that's about to go. He's got a whole bunch of Marines, and I'm fairly sure he's sending more of them up at the moment. I've got nothing else to protect my base. He could easily run for my command and take it out. But he doesn't know that I've got this. As you can see, I send out my Marauders and Reapers because it's all I've got. And look, he's sending in more infantry here. He's won the game. He could run straight up the choke. He's polished up my barracks. He's going to win. However, he hasn't blocked his choke, which doesn't matter for my Reapers, but my Marauders can walk straight into his base. He has nothing to protect it. He's got 3 Marines which he was building, but my Marauders easily take care of those guys. And I head directly for his barracks. Now I obviously want to get rid of these straight away, because obviously I want to stop him from pumping out more Marines, hopefully, you know, end the match as we know it. He doesn't do that. He tries. He keeps trying. But I've still got all 4 of them, and they're still sitting on fairly good health. He's down and out for the count. For some reason he's attacking his own base here, I don't know. But there goes the first one. Here's something interesting. His guys are just sitting here. They're not moving. He's got well over 20 to 25 units here. He could run straight in, kill my orbital command. I got nothing touching it, and he could finish the game. He could have finished it by now easily. He is well up in me on units, as you can see here. He's got 21 via 24 just sitting in my base. He does nothing. Meanwhile, I've taken out his second barracks. He's still trying to pump out Marines for some reason. He's still not moving his Marines. They're still sitting there doing nothing. In I go to his barracks, and let's just speed it up. He sends his SCVs in. They take out a few, nothing much, and he ends the game. That's it. He surrendered. Now, this was an interesting match. Let's just go back on some perspective and just see how it could have been fixed. First of all, he didn't block the choke. As we can see directly down here, he did nothing. He basically just left it sitting wide open. I could just run straight in and attack his base. I probably could have done it within the first 5 minutes. This would have been probably the shortest match I've ever played. Easily. As you can see, I was sending in 2 more Marauders to replace the 2 that had been destroyed to take out his base before he surrendered. Probably the most stupidest thing he did, though, for this entire match was left his guys sitting there. He had the upper hand on me basically from the get-go. He could have easily just run in, taken out my choke here, and directly gone up and killed my orbital command. He decided not to. He's obviously new to the game like I am, but that was, even from an amateur perspective, a stupid thing to do. He clearly got tunnel vision on me attacking his base, and you know, let me win. He tried to defend it, which was silly. He should have just gone for the kill. That's the end of the match, guys. It was a lucky one for me, let's just say that. The following ones to come aren't so lucky, let's just put it in that perspective. My name is Novacore for Amateur Starcraft. Please tune in next time for more episodes, and we hope to see you then. Peace and chicken grease.